Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky's recent interview on NBC's Meet the Press painted a stark and concerning picture of the evolving geopolitical landscape surrounding the war in Ukraine. He issued a stark warning, predicting that Russia's aggression wouldn't end with Ukraine, and that a withdrawal of U.S. support would embolden Vladimir Putin to escalate the conflict dramatically. Zelenskyy explicitly stated his belief that a reduced U.S. commitment would inevitably lead to Russia waging war against NATO, a chilling prospect that underscores the interconnectedness of the conflict and the precarious balance of power in Europe. His assessment was not merely a hypothetical fear. Zelenskyy claimed to possess intelligence suggesting Putin's military was actively preparing for a potential invasion of another European nation. He pointed to Poland and Lithuania as potential targets, highlighting the immediate threat posed by a further expansion of the conflict. This alarming intelligence, coupled with Zelenskyy's forceful rhetoric, serves as a potent call to action, underscoring the urgency of maintaining and strengthening the international coalition supporting Ukraine. The interview took place in the shadow of an upcoming emergency summit of European leaders in Paris, a gathering convened to address the ongoing war and the persistent threat of Russian aggression. Simultaneously, U.S. and Russian officials were engaged in peace talks in Saudi Arabia, talks Zelenskyy made it clear he viewed with a skeptical eye. He categorically rejected any peace agreement that excluded Ukraine from the negotiating table, emphasizing the nation's right to self-determination and its crucial role in shaping its own future. Zelenskyy's comments extended beyond the immediate threat of Russian expansion. He expressed disappointment with certain messages emanating from the United States, citing Vice President J.D. Vance's speech in Munich as a particularly concerning example. Vance's speech, which harshly criticized European leaders, was viewed by Zelenskyy and many European counterparts as undermining the crucial transatlantic alliance. Equally troubling was Donald Trump's suggestion that Ukraine may be Russian someday, a remark that sent shockwaves through Europe and reinforced anxieties surrounding the future of U.S. support. These statements, Zelenskyy argued, were profoundly disheartening for European leaders, who feel increasingly excluded from critical decisions affecting their security and future. This sentiment of exclusion is not unfounded. Zelenskyy's previous interview with The Guardian highlighted Europe's inability to guarantee Ukraine's security without substantial U.S. assistance, a point he reiterated on Meet the Press. The perceived backpedaling of U.S. support, coupled with Trump's seemingly conciliatory phone call with Putin, which many interpreted as a capitulation to Russian pressure, has fueled widespread alarm across Europe. The concerns were further amplified by the subsequent reactions from European leaders to Vance's speech. Britain, France, and Germany, among others, issued statements underscoring the essential role of European participation in any meaningful peace talks. Following Vance's speech, German Chancellor Olaf Scholz directly confronted him, criticizing his remarks and highlighting the unacceptable interference in Germany's upcoming elections, particularly given the positive comments Vance and Elon Musk directed towards the far-right AfD party. Zelenskyy's call for the formation of a unified European armed forces, made during his Munich appearance, served as a direct response to this perceived weakening of U.S. commitment. He underscored the view that any reduction in U.S. support for Europe or NATO would inevitably create opportunities for Putin's territorial ambitions. The situation is deeply complex, involving not only the immediate military threat, but also the erosion of trust within the transatlantic alliance and the potential for further Russian expansion. Zelenskyy's message is clear. The continued support of the United States is critical not only for Ukraine's survival, but for the security of Europe as a whole. The potential consequences of failing to provide that support are far-reaching and deeply alarming. His urgent plea for sustained commitment underscores the stakes in this crucial moment in global affairs.